So, here's a 2-room apartment which has been uninhabited for 4 years. And a cleaning company is going to work on it. What are you waiting for? Let's get cleaning! And while the professionals are preparing to show us how it's done, let's look at the top 5 dirtiest objects in the average house. A microbiologist at the University of Arizona, Charles Gerba, found that the number of microbes on a kitchen chopping board is 200 times greater than a toilet seat. The scientist advises us to wipe the board with a 5% solution of vinegar or alcohol after washing. The next biggest microbe spot is the home phone handset. Not only everyone in the house touches it, they also put it to their face, talk, shout, and never clean it. The dirtiest object number 3 is the dishwashing sponge. We use it to wash everything, but we never wash the sponge, only rinse. That's a mistake. Food particles decompose right inside the sponge, and over time, it turns into a weapon of mass pollution. The second place belongs to the shower curtain. It never draws much attention during cleaning, and it accumulates a lot of microbes due to humid air, proximity to the person, and their waste. And finally, first place in the dirtiest object in the house is your kitchen or bathroom trash bin. You usually change garbage bags, but you forget to wash the bins with water. They also need to be disinfected. Why trust a professional cleaning company with the cleaning of your house when you can do the same with your own hands?
First, it saves time and energy because cleaning a 2-room apartment usually takes 2 people a whole day. So one person alone will likely spend at least 2 days and achieve a substandard result. That's because we don't have special equipment, skills, or experience. And that makes us inferior to professional cleaners.
Cleaning an apartment follows the same rules like when you are repairing something. It goes from top to bottom. First, the ceiling, curtain rods, and lamps should be cleaned, and everything else. In the meantime, we can do the windows. Professional window cleaning is not fundamentally different from cleaning other surfaces, only in its quality. Plus, these tools, it turns out, have names. This is a microfiber sleeve. This is a squeegee, or a squilgee. Detergents also have their own names. To avoid advertising, let's call them professional, a word you're probably already getting tired of. Alkaline detergents are used for the kitchen. They perfectly dissolve fats, ventilators, stoves, ovens, microwaves, but they are absolutely useless in the bathroom and toilet. Acid-based detergents are applied there. They perfectly remove salt, calcium deposits, sand, and limescale deposits, and vice versa. They are completely powerless in the kitchen. And here's another thing. Cleaners use different cloths for different rooms. They even differ in color. Red is for toilets. Yellow is for bathrooms. Green is for kitchens. And blue is for all other surfaces in the house.
First of all, this is to prevent cleaning a kitchen or a dining table with a cloth that has already been used to clean a toilet. Secondly, different detergents are used in the kitchen and in the bathroom. A cloth absorbs them, and if we confuse these cloths, even after rinsing them, well, the detergents, after mixing and neutralizing each other, won't be really effective.
In addition to all this, there are several special mechanisms. A steam generator. This is the terminator for stains in hard-to-reach places. Its purpose is to clean cracks, joints, stove panels, surfaces inside the oven, microwaves, refrigerators, and grout on tiles. And a vacuum cleaner. It's not a simple vacuum cleaner, it's a backpack vacuum cleaner. Speaking of which, guess when it was invented? Once again? No. It all started much earlier. In 1652, a physician from Paris, Etienne Lahr, presented Cardinal Mazarin, the regent and de facto ruler under young Louis XIV, with a special device for fast cleaning. It was a long, heavy pipe with 5 cords that set in motion a screw inside. It was difficult to explain the working principle of the mechanism. Mazarin did not like it and decided against buying it. Then there was Daniel Hess, an American. In 1860, he patented a device with this purpose.
To collect dust and dirt inside a machine by drawing air into it.
Exactly. Hess's machine had a manual drive. It needed bellows to suck in air, which severely limited its capabilities. So Hess failed to find an investor for the project. It was not only Hess who failed. Exactly. All prototypes of vacuum cleaners offered 3 options for dust collection: sucking dirt up, blowing it into bags with the help of airflow, or to collect it into containers by means of mechanical brushes. But the trouble was that they all required manpower to work. No, a broom and a scoop seemed somehow simpler and more efficient. But by the end of the 19th century, gasoline emerged as a powerful source of energy, and the process of cleaning accelerated. In 1900, engineer of the British Royal Navy, Hubert Cecil Booth, studied the most successful developments of vacuum cleaners and created this. He came up with a memorable name for it too: Puffing Billy. Big, red, and gasoline-powered. He marched through London with a trolley pulled up by a horse. The device was often seen with hoses extending from the car into large buildings. Puffing Billy was popular. In 1902, Booth was commissioned to clean Westminster Abbey before the coronation of Edward VII in Alexandria. The royal couple was so impressed with the device that they bought Booth's cleaners for Buckingham Palace and Windsor Castle. Booth's device was not only mobile, it was built into the homes of wealthy people, creating a central vacuum cleaning system there. Imagine, a whole room in the building was allocated for the engine of a vacuum cleaner. Of course, the current models, working on electricity, have become way more compact. So why have professional cleaners put this familiar device on their backs and shoulders?
If you have a regular vacuum cleaner, you have to hold it in one hand, the hose in the other, climb up the stepladder, balance yourself, and vacuum clean. When you have a backpack vacuum cleaner, you put the device on, and you go around the house cleaning all the places you need without any hindrance. It is faster, better, and when we work in VIP houses, let's put it this way, you need to be in control of the vacuum cleaner at the back, because if it suddenly knocks a vase or table, you risk breaking things. But with a backpack vacuum cleaner, you have nothing behind you, only the cable.
And finally, almost 10 hours after our cleaning started. What is this? Where did this come from? What is that dirt? Who edited the video? Wait, take 2. So almost 10 hours after the cleaning commenced, well, what did you expect? Something else? Of course the apartment's clean. Everything was cleaned, washed, wiped. But to prove that professional cleaners can't cope with any dirty house, here's a story called The Dirtiest Apartment in the World. An apartment owner from Houston was shocked after one of the tenants who had not paid the rent for a month deserted the apartment, leaving behind all this. The photos show that it was almost impossible to move around the house, which was left in a disastrous state. According to the owner, there should have been 2 cats somewhere in the house, but they haven't been found yet. Presumably, the corpses are hidden under the tons of household waste. The smell in the apartment confirms this version of the story. Previously, the apartment was worth $80,000. Now, the owner is ready to sell it for $39,000. The owner jokes that if you're not squeamish and love cleaning with mops and brushes, it's going to be the deal of the century. Let's leave the apartment and go outside. What's there? How are buildings cleaned outside? They are not. Up until the Industrial Revolution of the 18th and 19th centuries, it didn't occur to anyone at all. The old buildings were either repainted or left to look dirty. However, there wasn't so much dirt as we have nowadays. Factories didn't emit so much smoke, there weren't any cars, and the number of people throwing away their household garbage was smaller. But in the 20th century, it finally became clear. Buildings need a full clean, in and out. First of all, we need to start with the windows of high-rise buildings. There are so many of them. And the glass is, of course, on both sides. This is how the loneliest occupation in the world appeared, and the first person to master it.
I am tied with straps to the window frame just a few inches under a huge clock. I see how people are talking, working, laughing there behind the glass, and don't pay attention to me. I feel like I'm in a different world. I am almost invisible.
The 43-story Williamsburg Savings Bank Tower in New York has 1,100 windows. In 1952, one person washed them all. It was 34-year-old Ed Kemp. He washed them, started from the upper floor and descending to the ground. He washed all the windows in a month. Afterwards, he started his work once again. In an interview with Eagle, Kemp talked about the loneliness that he felt while working. He saw hundreds of people. They were talking, laughing, living inside the building, but the window cleaner himself was separated from them by glass. Of course, today, this is no longer a lonely profession, and the attitude towards it has changed, though there is one question left. Why clean windows on the outside? After all, they are regularly washed by rain and snow.
But the fact is, in Moscow, if the building is near a road, dust and soot stick to the glass. Sometimes it is very difficult to clean the glass from the outside using simple or natural means. So we have to apply the same tools we use in the kitchen to remove fat.
The work doesn't seem too tricky. You get to the roof, put on the system, fix the harness and safety ropes, hook yourself to them, and move on. Move down. There's a microfiber sleeve, squeegee, soap, solution. It's like washing windows from the inside, although it's preferable to use demineralized water. Ordinary water leaves small specks of calcareous deposits after drying. Well, what if the building is like this? Or like this? How many climbers do you need to clean it? Not many. The Burj Khalifa in Dubai, the highest skyscraper, has more than 1.5 million square feet of mirror glass. It is washed by 36 to 40 specialists, and they get through the job in just 3 months. The cleaning of the glass facades of the Moscow City complex, according to regulations, should be carried out twice a year. This usually occurs in spring and autumn when the temperature is above 50 degrees Fahrenheit. Working on cleaning the glass facade of each skyscraper in Moscow City can last a month. It is carried out by teams of 6 to 10 people. But what if the facade is stone? Everything is roughly the same, only a strong acid is used instead of a soap solution. Concrete and bricks literally absorb dirt, and it makes cleaning them more difficult. To wash it off, a water jet is used. If dirt is particularly resistant, it is cleaned with a scraper. The rest is the same. The first 60 feet are washed from the ground. Everything above is cleaned by climbers. What is the price of cleaning a building outside?
From half a dollar per 10 square feet. Sometimes the rate goes up to $3 if the task is difficult. For example, we had to clean a facade with letters left from some ad. We had to tear them off. Recently, we cleaned the facade of a 7-story building. A 7-story business center completely covered with glass. It cost about $1,000. 2 climbers worked on it, cleaning it for 6 days.
Psychologists confirm that after cleaning your house, a person's mental state changes. It even increases their efficiency. Come on, efficiency. What about the famous Slovenes? The first famous Russian Sloven is, of course, the fabulous Krylov. He was very reluctant to change clothes. He rarely washed himself, rarely combed his hair. Krylov adored every living creature, especially birds, which he regularly fed, first throwing food out of the window, then scattering it around the apartment. Birds flew in flocks into the rooms, leaving their droppings everywhere. Nobody cleaned after them. Dirt and dust were all around, so the guests who came to visit the writer could not find a clean place to sit. The Russian painter Kororin was also not an example of neatness and cleanliness. Here is how a famous Russian opera singer described his house. A half-open box of sardines with a sardine dried in the form of an arc, strings from a violin or a cello, all sorts of colors and tubes and without tubes, a pair of glasses, stockings, old newspapers, Arabic gum, dried corn flour, a jar of worms, also completely dried out, and heaven forbid if someone inadvertently moves the sardines or the worms. The owner was not forgiving this. Well, Beethoven is the first Sloven among foreign celebrities. According to the caustic remarks of the household members, his books and notes were scattered in all corners. A cold appetizer might be in one corner, corked or empty bottles in another, sketches of a new quartet scattered around the music rack, and on the table, there were remnants of breakfast or letters on the floor. In addition, Beethoven had a strange habit. He liked to spit out the window. Still, the level of cleanliness over the past decades has reached enormous heights. Come on, enormous? What about being absolutely incapable of removing some stains and dirt? Tannin contained in tea, cocoa, persimmon, pomegranate, and phenolic compounds, practically non-removable when getting in contact with upholstered furniture in the house. You can still cope with it while the stains are fresh, but 3 to 4 hours later, you can probably give up all hope. Urine, especially, oddly enough, dog's urine. Especially, which is even stranger, Yorkshire Terrier's urine. According to professional cleaners, God knows why, but dried stains made by this breed cannot be removed by any means. So if you're a dog lover, keep that in mind. And finally, there's a well-known sweet carbonated drink that is the toughest of all. This dark liquid not only burns into furniture, carpets, even plastic, it also destroys paint. The stain can be removed professionally, but the discolored spot will remain like this forever. Nevertheless, according to cleaning companies, 83% of people feel better in a clean house. Come on, better. And how about better, more comfortable, and of course, calmer. And also, cleanliness has a positive effect on health. cleaning has a relaxing effect. Yes, this is exactly what some researchers say. Clean your place more often. It is soothing. As for me, I don't usually clean my place very often. I hire specialists to do it. The result of their work is soothing.